So hello everyone, my name is Becky with Scott Leroy Marketing, and today we are going to be doing our consumer mobile app overview. So we will be going through the consumer app and walking you through the different things that can be done in there, what it looks like from both the consumer view and what you see on your end of command. And so we'll go through both parts of that. Before we do, though, a couple of things. First of all, if you are here with me live, if you have any questions as we go through, please go ahead and drop those questions in the chat. I'll do my best to get them answered in real time. Generally, for the sake of timing, I will save more in-depth questions for the very end, just so I can make sure I give you a full answer and that we can get through class material all, within a decent amount of time. Because I do want to make sure I give you a thorough answer and I'm not just trying to fly through the questions. So I will save some time at the very end just to make sure we can get through those. But if you have questions, just go ahead and drop them in the chat as you have the questions. Sometimes the questions will get answered as we go through, maybe in a later part of the class. But otherwise, again, I'll get them answered. I don't want you to forget your question if you're anything like me and forget your questions if you don't ask them. So go ahead and drop them in the chat as you have your questions about what we're going through today. If I don't answer right away, I promise you I am not ignoring you. I will absolutely get those questions answered. It just may have to be saved for the very end. Today's class recording will be available on our YouTube channel in about 24 hours. We do aim for end of business day. However, sometimes it can take a little bit longer than that, depending on uploading speeds and things like that. But we will do our best to get this class uploaded on our YouTube channel in about 24 hours. I'm going to go ahead and drop our both our email address and our YouTube channel link in the chat. So our email address is support@scottleroymarketing.com. If anyone is watching this via recording, if anyone's watching this on a recording on our YouTube channel, you can feel free to reach out to us at support@scottleroymarketing.com with any questions you may have. Anyone here with me live is more than welcome to email us with questions as well. Just wanted to go ahead and give you that email address in case you're doing either. And our YouTube channel is just Scott Leroy Marketing on YouTube. So youtube.com/Scott Leroy Marketing, and you'll be able to find our YouTube channel there. Alrighty, so without further ado, we are going to go ahead and jump into today's class. So I am on my mobile device. I'm sharing that screen. So you should be able to see my home screen here. Nice little picture of a cow. So you should be able to see that here. And I just wanted to show you the differences, but there's two different apps for KW. So there's the command app, which is this red square with the white KW in it. That is the command app. And the white square with the red KW is going to be the KW consumer app where we will be spending our time today. The command app is just going to be your agent access to command. So you should be able to access that. If you are looking to download either app, you can just go to either your App Store or your Play Store, depending on the type of device you have. You can just click on it and go to search and search for Keller Williams. I'm just going to select recent search I already did. And you will see those options here. So we have the KW Real Estate, which is the consumer app. If you scroll down, you'll see the KW Command app as well. So you will be able to download either of those and access them there. Now, also for the consumer app, you also have personalized links within Command that you will be able to share and download your app that is branded to you directly. You should be able to access that through the Command app. Our Command mobile app class that we did last Wednesday, recordings on our YouTube channel, we'll walk you through that. My Command app is having problems today, so I'm not going to be able to show you that. Otherwise, I absolutely would, but it's not allowing me to sign in today. So we'll just proceed with the consumer app, and I will switch back to my desktop and we will look at it through the browser view, and I'll show you where to find the link that way. There are options if you aren't downloading the link directly. You can find the agent through the app, even if you're not using your specific branded link. So we'll look at that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and open up our consumer app right here. We will let it load real quick, and then it's going to give us this screen right here, which is going to ask us to sign up, log in, or we can skip for now. The features are limited if we skip signing in or signing up or logging in. So the features are limited. I will show you that real quick. But one thing to note here is agents do not have specific logins for the consumer app or the KW agent site. So if you want to view it as a consumer would, you would need to create an account. And so you can just click the sign up button right here, and it will ask you a couple questions. You'll create an account through there with your logins there. I do already have an account, and we'll look at that. I'm going to go ahead and click skip for now, though, because I do want to show you a couple things before we sign into our app. So I'm going to click skip for now. So if you go to the home page here, you're going to see that it is really just asking them to sign up or log in there so that they can have it personalized to them, which I'll show you what that looks like when we sign in a minute. The search, they can use the search feature, so they can search in this area if they want to. We'll circle back to this again when we sign in. Favorites, it's going to ask them to sign up or log in. And then if you go over to this person icon on the far right, this is how you can check and see if the app is branded to an agent, branded to you and as the agent. So you can go in, you can click find a local KW agent through here, and you can search for a specific agent. So we could go in and we could say, let's see here. Go in and you can go find the agent that way. So if you don't download the app that is branded to that agent specifically, you can go in and find their information, and then that you can go in and click connect with me. They can view your details. So again, this is what the consumers would see if they are looking at it through the app. So they can view your biography and things like that, and kind of see your information there. And then they can click connect with you, which will connect them to your consumer app. So just something to keep in mind. I'm going to go back out here. So we're going to go back out to our homepage here. I'm just going to click this sign up / log in button right here. Again, I could do that on pretty much any page in there. It does allow us to sign in or sign up. So we can go in. Now, a couple things to note when you are signing up. So if you click the sign up button, it will ask for first name, last name, and email address. If a consumer uses the same primary email address as an existing contact in your command database, if they're connecting to you as the agent, it will update that existing contact profile to show that they are connected to your consumer app. If they use the same name or a different name, but they use a different email address, either way, it's going to create a new command contact. When they sign up, create an account in your consumer app or your KW agent site. If they have an account on your KW agent site, they can use those same logins to sign into the consumer app. They are connected. So what they do on the consumer app, they can see on the agent site. So just something to note there. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to click this already have an account and log in, and I'm going to sign in here. Now my screen is going to go black real quick just because it's hiding my logins from you. So it will go black here. So I just entered email and password, and then I just clicked the login button. And then it brings me in to our dashboard here. So on the personalized dashboard, we're going to go here. It's just a little home icon on the far left on the very bottom, that black bar across the bottom, or the gray bar, I guess, depending on, I think the reflection show or the recording showing it is gray. And the black is just my phone. But anyway, so we'll start here. And this is going to show their information. So we can go over once we've signed in as well, we can go back over and we can see it is now branded to an agent. So since we had the logins, we already connected with this agent before. But I'm going to go back over to the home page, and we'll go through all of these tabs together. So the first thing I want to look at is this My Home tab up here. Now you'll notice when we select different things within the homepage of the app, it will light up with the like red and purple gradient, so you can know which tab you're on. But we're on the My Home, so this is from a seller's point of view. So if you have sellers looking at the app from the sell side, this is kind of what they'll see. So they can go in, we can click this enter address, and we can discover home's value. So you can click enter address, and then you can go in, they can go in and start typing. We'll go in. Oops. We'll go in and we'll just grab one of these addresses. So I just grabbed 123 Main Street in Pineville. But you can go in, you can click this send home information down at the very bottom. It would send the information over to the agent so that they can pull in that estimate. So it'll send this message. The consumer can edit that message if they wanted to. I'm not sure why it's not popping the whole box up top. And then they can click send home information and it will send it over to you. Now we can also click X in the top right corner and it will still add the My Home with the address right here. Home equity calculator. Again, they can click let's go and that will send it over to you. But if we scroll down, you would see this home value. Again, it's just asking for more information on this one. For some of them, it may automatically provide a calculator depending on the address chosen. Now it is an estimate. It's not going to be, necessarily perfect. But you can see right here, they need more information to get an accurate estimate. This can happen if there's limited market data, legal restrictions, or the property is very unique. So I chose apparently a very unique address or limited market data, one of the two. But it would provide kind of like a mortgage calculator. Well, not a mortgage calculator. Sorry, that's on the buy side. But it should go in and provide more information, just like home's estimated value. I'm going to go ahead and remove that from my home right here. But you can scroll down and see what it would have. So value and financial potential of your home in the dashboard. Now we're going to go over, that's really all there is for the seller point of view. There's not a whole lot, but again, a lot of times when people are looking through an app, they're looking to buy because they want to look at properties. So we're going to switch over to the buyer's point of view, and that's where we're going to spend pretty much the rest of our class is from the buyer's point of view, except when we switch over to our computer and we go through command from your point of view. But we'll go in here and we'll just kind of look at what we have here. So on the buy rent tab, we have collections. So if you've created a collection or you've been added to a collection or you have added the consumer to the collection, which I will show you how to do through command in a little bit as well. You can see those collections through there. They can click view all collections and see their favorite listings, things like that. We can go back to our homepage. We can toggle over to saved searches. And you can see any saved searches through here. They can delete saved searches as long as they have created the saved search themselves. So you can see these two named demo. It's grayed out for both of them. That is because it was created through command from the agent. So the agent's command account created this saved search for the consumer, so they can view the saved search through here. I'll show you how to throw together a saved search as well from the agent point of view later when we get into command, but they would be able to view it through here. They can't edit or delete those saved searches if the agent has created them. So you can go in and adjust those through command. They can also see areas of interest. So if they followed any neighborhoods, they would see that. They can unfollow those neighborhoods as well. So you can go in and click unfollow. I'm just going to clear some of these out just so we can go in and look at it from a blank slate. There we go. So you can see through here, we have the collection, saved searches, areas of interest as well. And they can filter by, the collections, whether they're new, open house, price change, or status change. You can go in and view all of the collections. So next we're going to move over to the search option. So this is a pretty big feature of the consumer app is they can search for properties through here. So we can go in, they can search for a specific area if they want to. They can search by city, neighborhood, address, school zone, anything like that. So you'll see down here any recent searches. So we could search for Orlando, Florida, and it would populate the area here. We can go in and add filters of what we're looking for in a house here. So we can say our price range, our minimum is, we'll say 500K. Make sure I have enough zeros in there. We can make our maximum 2 million. Seems like a good range there. And then we can go down to bedrooms down below and we can select the number of bedrooms or bathrooms we are looking for. Now you will notice with these bedrooms and bathrooms, it does have the plus sign after the number. So 1+, 2+, 3+, 4+, or 5+. Now, when you are searching for this, That just means any that has a minimum. So you're setting a minimum of bedrooms. If they're looking for exactly four, no more, no less, they can toggle this exact match button on and it will only show houses with four bedrooms in there. Otherwise, it's going to show four or more. Same with bathrooms down below. We can go in, we can say 3+ bathrooms or just 3. So we can go in, or maybe we'll say 2+. Next, we have our property type. We can go in and filter through those. Now, this saved search, when you're going, well, these filters, they actually do have more than the ones that the agents do have. So this one is houses. So this one has more filter options. Sorry, I see a comment in the chat. We're talking about AI and social media. That is another class. That is another Zoom link. I can drop the link to our, let me just grab the link for that real quick for you. Yeah, for sure. So that one should be, hopefully that link worked. Yeah, maybe not. Hold on. Hopefully that works. Let me, okay, it should redirect you there directly so that you can grab it. So that one is a separate class at a different Zoom link. So if you were looking for that one, you can go there. So that link should work. If it doesn't, let me know. Alrighty, so we're going back here and we can go down. They can filter by property type. So houses, apartments, townhomes. We'll just go with houses and townhomes. Next, we can set the living area. So they can also drag and drop or drag this bar here at the bottom. So we can set minimum and maximum square feet, square meters, whichever they want to go by. Lot size, they can set the acreage. Now, this one is one that is specific to the consumer app. So the consumer can set the acreage. Unfortunately, it's not currently a feature when the agent sets up a saved search through command. I'm not sure why, but we can go in and we can adjust the acreage here. So the consumer can create it through here. Year built, we want it, maybe we want it to be after 1990, no max. Features, they can select through there, any keywords, listing status, listing types, listing details. Now, I do want to point out that the more filters you add, the fewer properties are going to show up. Obviously, I think that's fairly obvious. But just something to keep in mind when you're looking through these. If you just keep adding more and more filters, it's going to limit those, especially the keywords. So the keywords can be fantastic, but the keywords also filter out listings that don't include keywords, like in the listing description or stuff like that. So it kind of depends on how the agent lists the property. So it may have some of those features that are in the keywords, but they just didn't include it in their description because they were highlighting other things. So the keywords are one that I tend to not use as much just because I find that it makes the search a little too specific. But that is up to you, up to the consumer. If they want to go in and add the keywords, they absolutely can. And I just wanted to point that out, that it may be a little more limited and it may cut out some perfectly fine properties that they may actually be interested in, just because the keywords are super specific. You can go down listing types by agent, new construction, foreclosure, short sale, listing details, so it can show only properties with upcoming open houses or with price reductions in the last 7 days. I'm going to leave those. I'm just going to click on show one result. Now we could go in, we can, let's see here. Let's go in, let's drag our, lot size. I'm going to go with lot size, make that smaller. We can go in and we can say 3+ bedrooms. So you can kind of adjust this however you need to. And you'll see those numbers down at the bottom adjusting with how many results are available for that. So again, the more specific you put in there, the fewer that are going to show up. So you may just have to play around with those. And then you will see all of the properties popping up here. So it shows it on a map view. You can click this button right here that says list right there, and it will switch it over so they can view it in a list view through here, and they can scroll through all of the properties. Now they'll get a quick preview of the images. I think it shows like 4. Now if they click on the listing itself, it will open up the listing and they can go through and view all 38 photos for this listing specifically. Obviously, every listing has a different number of photos in it. They can scroll through, they can click on the images and kind of view it that way. So they can go in and see more photos through there. Or we can scroll back up. So I'm trying not to go too fast so I don't make anyone dizzy. They can go over to this virtual tour tab and click virtual tour if they'd like to. They can also request a tour of you, the agent. So they can click request tour and they can go in and select the time and date that they are available. So we can go in, we can click on date. So we can say, maybe this Friday, morning, afternoon, or evening, whichever works. The date, any additional times, availabilities that work, so they can add up to 2 other additional time frames. How would they like to tour, in person or a live video? So we can set in person or live video. It can also have them select the different preferred video platforms. So Zoom, FaceTime, Facebook Messenger, Google Meet, WhatsApp, or other. So they can go in and select which ones work for them, or all of them if all of them work, or maybe just Meet or just Zoom works. So we can do that. Then they can go in, add their phone number and their email address. Now, this one I am going to highlight the fact that it asks for their phone number here. So if you remember when they created their account, it did not ask for a phone number. I know we didn't fully go through creating an account, but it only asks for their email address when they create an account. So it's going to ask them for additional information. It will ask for their phone number here, and that should update on the contact as well once they fill out this form. They'll just have to agree to these things. They agree that they can be contacted, and then they would just click request to tour, and it would send the message over to you, the agent. You would get a notification in your command saying that they were requesting a tour of a property, and it would show which property they were requesting a tour of. They can also click this contact with the agent's name right here. We can click that, and it will pop down to the contact form. We'll have your agent information, and then they can go in and also adjust this, and they can adjust the message to be whatever they're looking for, but it automatically pops up this, I would like to learn more about the property, and then it has the address. I'm going to go back out from our pictures. We'll go right back in here since I did that from the photos tab, but we're going to go down and we'll look through all of this listing information as well, see what they can see through here. So it has, all of this information through here. You can scroll down, they can see property description, property details. They can see your contact information as the agent, activity history, upcoming open houses if there are any scheduled, estimated monthly payment with purchase price. So this is kind of a mortgage calculator that they can go in. Now, keep in mind, this is an estimate. It does give them that heads up that it is an estimate. It's just an estimate. So it does tell them that. I know I've had some people being concerned that it was not exactly, the property tax wasn't exactly what the rates were. It just kind of goes off of the property history and things like that in the most recent tax reporting. So it can be slightly off, but it does let them know that it is just an estimate, and to reach out to the agent for a full. They can also click show more and go in and adjust all of the details through there. So we can go in, we can change the down payment amount, the purchase price, the interest rate, loan type, things like that. So they can go in and adjust all of that, their credit score, and they can select just to kind of get a better calculator. It's a calculator. It goes based off of what information they enter in. So again, it just kind of depends on what information has been put in, but the agent or the consumer can adjust literally any of that. So it's adjustable. They'll see Keller Home Loans and Keller Covered through here, price and tax history. So they can toggle between the two there. And then they'll also down below see the neighborhood information. So they will see what neighborhood it is in. They can follow the neighborhood. They can go to the neighborhood. They can click search this area. And then they'll see a market snapshot for that neighborhood, nearby schools, transit and commute times. So they can go in here. It will tell you how car dependent that neighborhood is. And they can go in and they can click add a place and they can search for an address. And it will give them an estimated transit commute time based off of driving, biking, or walking. So they can go in and, maybe there's somewhere they go regularly, whether that's work, place of worship, or some, anything else really. They can go in and they can add that place so they can kind of get an idea of what the transit time typically looks like, commute time, from that house to wherever they regularly go, and they can see the times there. They'll also see similar properties and nearby properties, and then the MLS information, obviously, all of the disclaimers down below. Now we can go in, we can also hit this heart right here, and that will favorite the property. It will let the agent know that you have favorited a property. So you, the agent, would get the notification that they favorited a property. Then they can also go in and they can just start favoriting other properties through here. They can do it from this page as well. We will switch back to the map view just because I'm not quite finished here. So we'll go in here. It does have our boundary as Orlando, so we can clear that boundary. And then we can go in and we can also draw a boundary. So it does still have all of our filters in there. But we can click this. It's like this little finger that looks like it's drawing. You can do that, and they can draw an area that they're looking in. And it will narrow down the search to only the properties that match their filters in that area. So we can go in, we can save this search if they want to. So you'll see right under the search bar, there's a heart that says save. They can click on that. They can change their search name. They can review all of their filters through here. They can turn on push notifications. So if they get notifications to their mobile device, email notifications, they can also turn them on to instant, daily, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. That is notifications on their saved search. So if a property comes available, I will go ahead and let you know that instant works. I mean, they all work, but instant is instant. I turned that on in a demo for a class once, and it was linked to my work email, and I was just getting constant notifications. I had to go in and change that. So instant is going to be a lot of emails, so they might want to know that. Daily, we'll just send one recap email daily, so they can just get one email every day, and it will let them know all of the properties that became available that day if there were any changes on properties popping up on their saved search. Weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, just depends on what they're looking for. If they're looking ready to go now, instant is fantastic. Again, I set it up as a demo, and then I was getting a lot of emails. So it just kind of depends on what they are looking for. If they want instant, it definitely works. It's like within 30 minutes of the listing popping into their saved search. So it's definitely works. So we'll go in, we'll say daily email notifications here, and then we can just click save here, and it will save that search. You would also be able to see that search as the agent. It will show up on their profile in your contacts applet of command. So you can see that saved search. Similarly to how consumers cannot change a saved search that the agent has created, the agent cannot change the saved search that the consumer has created. So they're kind of separate in that way, but they would still be able to view all of them through here. They can also change the map to a different view if they want to click this like one that has like 3 layers, and they can change it to map or satellite view, depending on what they're looking for. If they like to look at satellite maps, if that's their jam, they can absolutely switch to that view. One more thing in here before we move along is in this search bar, they can also have it show their location and go based off of their location. So they can go in, they can click this arrow button right there, and it would ask them to enable location services. I'm not going to do that for today's class, but they could go in and turn on their phone location and give the permissions, and it would go based off of their location if they wanted to do that as well. Alrighty, so we'll go back. I'm going to go back to the list view, and I'm going to favorite a couple more properties. So I'm going to grab that one. I'm going to scroll down. I'm just going to grab a couple random ones through here. So we can go in, we'll grab that as well. All right, so now I just went back to the home page so we can see what it looks like. We added houses. They show up in our collections here. So the collections, this one in this case is your favorite listings or my favorite listings. Saved searches, we can see saved searches and the properties that are popping up in that saved search. Filter by new, if they have an open house upcoming, price change, status change, and then areas of interest. If they've favorited or followed a neighborhood, it would pop up here. I did not favorite a neighborhood, so I could go in. We'll go into this one real quick. So we can go in here. I'm going to scroll all the way down. And then I'm just going to follow this neighborhood real quick, just so we can see that, what it looks like. There we go. Areas of interest, it shows the market stats versus a 6-month comparison, so they can toggle between those. Past 30 days, explore the areas, recent updates, things like that. We can also go over to this heart tab right here. We can view all of the collections. So it will put all of their favorites into a specific collection called My Favorite Listings. If you, the agent, create collections through command, which I will show you how to do, it will also show those here. Saved searches, again, we can see all of those saved searches here. They can edit the saved search that they've created, so they can go in and they can change that if they want to. Areas of interest, again, we'll see those here. And now we can also go over to this person tab through here. Just a couple more things to look at here. They can change their notification settings. So we can go in and change the notification settings on all saved searches, even the ones that the agent has created. So when the agent creates it, they can turn their notifications on or off in the app for that specific saved search. They just can't delete the saved search. You can see right here that it has the instant notifications turned on right here. That's probably the one I was getting a million emails for. But you can see all of those saved searches through here, push notifications, email notifications for specific saved searches, collections as well. They can change their notification preferences there. If they need to change their email, they can go in there, click the settings, and change their name and email address. They can share the KW consumer app through here. They can view you, the agent, your contact information like we looked at earlier. All right. So I'm going to, give me just a second, I'm going to switch over to my laptop, to my computer here. So give me just a second. I'm going to share my screen. It's pulled up. Alrighty, so you should be able to see my computer screen now. So we'll look at a couple things in command that you'll be able to see through here. So we're in our command account. I do want to show you how you can find your specific link here. So I'm going to go over, it's actually going to be in your marketing profile. So on the left-hand side, we have all of our different applets. It's going to be under websites. And we'll go in there. And we'll go to manage settings through there. So sorry, I went a little fast on that. So I went to websites and I clicked manage settings right here. Now all of this information is what is going to populate anything with a red asterisk, the required field. This is your marketing profile, also known as the external profile. So this is the agent information that shows up on your consumer app, on your website, things like that. So obviously making sure all of that is up to date is a important step here. But you can go in as your site settings. So this is probably more of what you're seeing other than the personal information. But we can go down here to referral links. Now, this is going to show the team referral links, which every agent does have a, it's like a solo team. It's a business account. It's called a team account. I know it can be a little bit confusing. They did that so that you can add guest users and things like that. But it's like a business account. It functions like a team account, which is why you now see like team referral links, even when it's your personal website and app URL. We can also go over to the agent profile and see the referral links through here, and you can grab them. Now, one thing to note, you'll see two different app links here. So you'll see the team app URL and the team member app URL. If you don't have anyone else on your team, both of them should actually connect the consumer to the same spot. I would recommend going with the team app URL. If you are on a team with other agents, I would recommend the team member app URL. Team member app URL is going to show them your profile in context of the team, whereas the team app is just going to show the team information. But again, if you're a solo agent, it's just your business account, either should work just fine. So you shouldn't have a problem there. You can copy this and it will show your agent information when they download the app from this link. So they can open this link. It does have to be open in a mobile device. If it's opened on a web browser, it won't actually download the KW consumer app, just because, again, it's made for a phone to be done through a mobile device. But if they download it, mobile device, it will populate your contact information automatically. So it's a great link to share to have them download your app information. Let's see. Another thing we want to look at is our contacts applet. So again, you can update all of that, but we'll go over to our contacts applet. On the left-hand side, it's the second one down. It's the square with the person inside of it. And now we can see any contacts that have been connected to our agent site or our consumer app. So we can see this green check mark right here. That means that they have signed up on our consumer app or our agent site. Again, same logins would work for both your consumer app and your website. So that's why it's the same for both. So you would see this green check mark next to anyone that has. So we can scroll down. You can see more down here. We can also filter by our team site connection. So whether they're connected, not connected, or any. So we can go to connected and we can see that one popping up. I'm not sure why it's not showing both, because I definitely saw it on 2 of them. But we can go back in to any. Maybe I saw it wrong. But you can go in to those contacts as well. So we can open this contact up. And you can see through here, let's see if we scroll down. Let's see here. Planned inquiries, so that is contact form probably on our agent site. And so you can go in and you can kind of see that information. If they do request something through the site or the app, then it would populate here. To create a saved search for a client, you can go over to this saved search button right here and click create saved search. And then you can go in and fill this out, search by location. So we can go in, we'll set up the same one we looked at earlier. Orlando, Florida. We can set our price minimum and our maximum. Oops, I hit a period there. Oops, there we go. Any amenities they want, so maybe they want a garage. Property type, we can go in and make that fewer options. So we can kind of narrow that down a little bit. Listing status, for sale, active, pending, coming soon. Leave those. Beds, bathrooms, we can go in and adjust those. Your build, living area, square foot. Again, it doesn't have the option for acreage at this point. Has parking, open house only, price reduced. And then next, saved search title. So you can kind of title that whatever. The contact will see this through the consumer app. So make sure it's one that would help them as well to know, what the saved search is for. Primary email for that contact. And then if they want email notifications, then you can go in and toggle those as well. So instant, daily summary, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, and then you would just click create saved search and it would send an email over to them with their save. It would get them started on the saved search through there. Let's see here. Another thing we want to look at is how to create a collection. So collections can only be created for contacts that are active on your, or that have an account on your consumer app or your agent site. So I wanted to clarify that. I know we get questions about that fairly frequently. But to create a collection, we can go over to listings. So we'll go into our listings applet. If you've synced your MLS, you should be seeing listings here. We can go to collections right here, and we can search through our collections that we've created, any that we have gone ahead and created, or we can go in and we can create a collection. We can go in, we can search through here. So we can go, let's see here. We'll go here, we'll click create collection in the top right corner. We'll go in, we can search by location, so we can kind of just start filling this out. We'll go Orlando, Florida again, bedrooms range. let's say 3 to 5, 2 to 5. Just gonna kind of, okay. Did not mean to enter the 2, but it doesn't really matter. So we can go in, we can, adjust whatever we need through here. We'll just go with just active. We'll apply our filters. See those listings updated, and then we can go through and we can hand pick listings through here. So we can grab the ones we want to be included in this collection. We can grab all of them if we want to. It'll select up to 100 at a time. So we can go in and go to our next pages, and it will show, all of them selected for that page. So we can add up to 100 at a time. We can click create collection. Oh, we got to title it. And create a collection here. And then we can either assign contacts to it. So again, it will only show contacts that are connected to our consumer app or our agent site. So we can go ahead and add the collection to this person. Or we don't have to. We can go right here to these 3 dots. We can edit it. We can click on the collection, see all of the listings in there. We can see any contacts that are in here. We can assign contacts to it. So you can add more listings and things like that. So that is how you would create a collection through there as well. Alrighty, that is really all we have for today. It's a bit shorter of a class than most of our other classes, just because there's not quite as much to go through. But if you do have questions, please go ahead and drop them in the chat. If you are not sticking around for questions, thank you for joining me. I hope this was helpful for you, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.